Welcome to City Roundup, brought to you by the City of Pensacola, with your host, Saenger Rosa. City Roundup is your one-stop shop for everything having to do with the City of Pensacola. And now, Saenger.
Good morning and thanks for tuning in. I'm Saenger Rosa with the City of Pensacola. We always start our show with a message from Mayor Grover Robinson about what he's working on. This clip we're about to show was recorded earlier in the week.
Good morning. It's January 14th and the City of Pensacola is ready to work for you. This is a big week, especially for citizen involvement. The transition team, the mayor's transition team, will be out meeting across the City of Pensacola on several different fronts. We'll be having a coordinated all 11 member meeting on Tuesday at the Asbury Place behind Cokesbury off 9th. That's at 5:30. So we will be meeting there. We hope you will come join us and be a part of the transition team. Otherwise, I ask for you to please go to the website and stay in touch with where the transition team is having meetings. If you see a meeting that is of your interest, I encourage you to please attend. They are looking for citizen input and to be a part of hearing your voice and making it a part of the City of Pensacola as we move forward. Thank you very much for taking an active approach with the city. Please continue to follow us here and we'll look forward to being in touch with you.
For more of what our mayor is working on, follow him on social media. You get a behind-the-scenes look, his thoughts on important issues, and much more. He's on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Just search Pensacola Mayor. Have you heard of The Upside? The Upside is a video series posted on YouTube every Monday. We provide updates on projects, promotions, and events. Our hosts, Vernon Stewart and Tanya Vaden, rotate locations each week. This week, we're outside our beautiful City Hall.
Welcome to The Upside, brought to you by the City of Pensacola, with your hosts, Vernon Stewart and Tanya Vaden. Also, special reporter Allie Norton. The Upside is here to bring you news, views, and activities from right here in Pensacola. And now The Upside with Vernon and Tanya.
Welcome back to another episode of The Upside. I'm your host, Vernon Stewart.
And I'm Tanya Vaden, and today we're on location in front of City Hall.
Pensacola Police Department has named their Officer of the Year. It is Detective Mark Norman. Detective Norman was nominated for Officer of the Year for his role in a complex cocaine trafficking case that resulted in 4 federal indictments.
Yes, Detective Norman spent 3 years and countless hours of home and social media surveillance. He is credited for the turning point in the investigation that tied all aspects of the case together. Congratulations on the recognition and great work, Detective Norman.
The Triumph Gulf Coast Board now has a member from Escambia County, and it's someone that we all know very well. It's former Mayor Ashton Hayward. He will be filling the vacated seat. One of former Governor Rick Scott's last acts in office was appointing Hayward to the position. Current Pensacola Mayor Grover Robinson said he is glad to get a Triumph member from Escambia County, and he hopes it will help the City of Pensacola move Project Titan forward. Project Titan is the second phase of the Aircraft Maintenance Repair Overhaul Campus at Pensacola International Airport. It is a $210 million project which will add an additional 3 hangars. ST Aerospace Engineering is a primary tenant. This expansion is expected to bring roughly 1,300 new jobs to the area.
Well, the Bayview tennis courts are closed right now for resurfacing. We expect to reopen them by the end of the month. The City of Pensacola has 3 public tennis courts available at Hollis T. Williams Park, under the I-110 overpass, and 2 courts available at Armstrong Park that are open daily for public use. Once the resurfacing at Bayview Park is complete, we will begin resurfacing the courts under the I-110 and restripe these courts to accommodate pickleball.
A reminder that Mayor Grover Robinson will be holding a town hall meeting in District 5 on January the 24th. It begins at 5:30 p.m. This is his first town hall meeting and it will be held at the Woodland Heights Resource Center. We hope to see you there.
It's officially Mardi Gras season, so mark your calendars for February the 15th because Parks and Recreation is hosting Party Gras for seniors at the Brownsville Community Center. We've partnered with Escambia County Neighborhood and Human Services to offer this event. People 50 and older will have the opportunity to come together and celebrate the Mardi Gras season with live music by Cat Rhodes and the Truth. Fun activities including an indoor mini parade, community resources, health screenings, plus king cake and red beans and rice. For more information, visit playpensacola.com.
For the 5th year in a row, Saenger Theatre has received the TripAdvisor Certificate of Excellence. The achievement celebrates businesses that have earned great traveler reviews on TripAdvisor over the past year. The Certificate of Excellence accounts for the quality, quantity, and recency of reviews submitted by travelers. To qualify, a business must maintain an overall TripAdvisor bubble rating of at least 4 out of 5 and have a minimum number of reviews and must have been listed on TripAdvisor for at least 12 months.
Well, before we go, a free kids cooking class is being offered Friday the 18th at Cobb Resource Center. The AWKO Justice Foundation will host another Hungry for Justice Kids cooking class from 3:30 to 5:30 p.m. Classes are held the third Friday of each month at the center, and kids will learn how to make healthy recipes, plus receive all of the ingredients to make the healthy meals at home. RSVP information is listed on the screen, and the classes are free.
Nice. Well, Pensacola, that is all we have for you in this episode of The Upside. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next week.
This has been The Upside, brought to you by the City of Pensacola. Join us right here again next week for more of The Upside.
Every week, we also highlight a city employee in our series, City Spotlight. City Spotlights are meant to give citizens an inside look of their tax dollars at work. This week, we're introducing you to Laderal Dyess, a driver with sanitation services. Take a look.
I started, I think it was 1990. I grew up in garbage, as I could say, about 24 years doing that. I've been over here in recycle now about 3 years. I always wanted to work for the city. You know, when I first come out the military, I wanted that, but years had passed, and that's submitted the application. They finally called me. Like I said, I love it. We got great management. We got a new director just come on board, Mr. Fleming. A great staff up here. In 11, Mr. Brooks. Happy birthday to you there, bro. But a typical day, you know, we can run around 68 hours. Some of these routes probably got 9 to 1,100. Something like that, but like I said, it's one can at a time, and we call it a zone. We get in a zone and stuff, and it's like, you know, that's all we're doing is driving, but we actually driving and operating all at the same time. These mirrors will let you know everything that's going on and around you and stuff. It's all about the rhythm. I get a chance to meet some of my customers and just have a good time at it. Some of the peoples, man, I meet, like some of the elder peoples, they remind me of my mom so much, and just a hello, or maybe just going getting a can for them or something. It means so much to them. You know, you take pride in what you do, right, regardless of what it is. And I was always told, you know, from my parents and stuff, whatever you do, regardless, be the best at it.
For more episodes of The Upside and City Spotlight, visit our YouTube channel. And now we turn to our green tip of the week. If you would like to save natural resources, protect the environment, and save money, buy in bulk. Buying in bulk reduces packaging. Less packaging reduces the use of raw materials, meaning less waste. We'll be right back after this.
Natural gas homes are in demand. Here's what home builders have to say.
One of the major roles of us using the tankless water heaters and gas cooktops is because of trying to utilize energy efficient features in our homes. Without reservation, our owners that have moved into a home where we use this natural gas have always been happy that we've used this and very satisfied with the product.
Natural gas from Pensacola Energy, the clean, reliable, earth-friendly choice.
Cooking with natural gas is more controlled than using an electric range. But more importantly, they're less expensive to operate. Don't get burned with electric. Learn more at PensacolaEnergy.com.
Hey Hannah, what are you looking at?
Akeem, I think I need to have my garbage cart replaced and that pothole needs to be repaired.
So call the city.
I don't know. I mean, there's so many numbers, I don't even know where to start.
Hannah, it's simple. Just dial 311.
311? What's that?
It's your one number for access to all city services.
I don't know about that. I mean, wouldn't I have to call the sanitation department about the cart and then the public works department about the pothole?
Hannah, not anymore. You simply dial 311 and you're connected to a knowledgeable representative who can handle your request or connect you to the appropriate department. It's that simple.
311, huh?
311.
Okay, so 311 can help me with my sanitation cart and potholes. Can it help me with anything else?
Absolutely. Street lights, flooding, sidewalks, code requests, traffic signals, the list goes on and on and on. You can reach them by dialing 311 or submitting your request on the city's user-friendly website. They even have a mobile app that you can enter your request on your smartphone.
Wow, I'm impressed.
So, what are you going to do?
I'm gonna call 311.
Thank you for calling Pensacola 311. How can I help you?
I have a pothole on my street and I also need a new garbage cart.
We can take care of that for you. I'll just need the location information and we will process both requests right away.
That's it?
That's it. You can also track the status of your request online as well. Is there anything else I can help you with?
That will be all. Thank you.
No, thank you for helping to keep our city beautiful.
Look, there's debris covering that storm drain. I better call 311 when I can catch my breath.
Why wait, there's a mobile app for that.
Some food for thought for your Friday. In this episode of Coastal Cooking Quick Bites, host John Scanlon from Pensacola Energy shows us how to use natural gas to make crab and crawfish cakes.
On this episode of Coastal Cooking Presents Quick Bites, we're making crab and crawfish cakes. Stick around and find out how it's done.
Welcome to Coastal Cooking Quick Bites, brought to you by Pensacola Energy.
Welcome to Coastal Cooking Presents Quick Bites. I'm your host, John Scanlon, and we have a very special guest today. We have our marketing coordinator, Maria Stolfi, and she's picked a recipe out of the Fiesta Seafood Cookbook, A Taste of Pensacola. What are you cooking for us today, Maria?
I'm making crab and crawfish cakes. So let's get started, right? So, of course, start off with turning your burner on. Go with a medium-high heat because you want to start with your butter first. Go ahead and let that melt completely. So then you're going to put in your peppers, red, yellow, and your celery. Now those are going to get tender completely. And you'll know whenever your peppers start to smell. That is the best way you'll know.
So basically you're just cooking them down.
Yes, of course. So add in your peppers and your celery. Just mix that in.
And that's about 2 tablespoons worth of each?
Yeah, 2 tablespoons of each. And right now it kind of seems like a lot for crab cakes. But when you mix everything together, you'll see that it's not a lot. And at the end, it does add a little bit of crunch to your crab cakes. And it doesn't take a lot to have them cook down. If you're kind of in a hurry, just turn up the heat a little bit. If you like a little bit of extra crunch to your cakes, don't let the vegetables cook as long. So once these cook down just a little bit, then you'll add your Old Bay seasoning and your blackening seasoning. Now you can add any type of blackening seasoning. Some people like Tony Satcher's. My favorite is Slap Your Mama. I just like saying it. but it is my specialty. So you'll add your blackening seasoning and your Old Bay. The Old Bay is gonna bring out the extra flavor in the seafood when you add that later. And when you mix it in, it is gonna feel like you're stirring around sand with your with your vegetables. That is completely normal. When I first made this recipe, I thought it was a little weird. But just stir it around, it's completely normal. And make sure it evenly coats all the veggies that are in there. Once it's evenly coated, go ahead and add your shrimp stock. Shrimp stock is kind of hard to find. You can also substitute it for fish stock or lobster stock. And this is about 1/4 cup. So that will deglaze a little bit. It will kind of kick back at you. So let that cook for about a minute. And this is a very different way of cooking crab cakes. Usually when you cook crab cakes, you just kind of mix everything into a mixing bowl at first. So this is a very different way of cooking it with a little bit of a wetter way to mix it. But once we get into the mixing part, you will see the crab cakes kind of form together. So once this is done kind of cooking, then you'll add your seafood, which is lump crab and your crawfish, also known as crawdaddies. Shout out to Jim. So throw that in there. And then you'll mix that around. Make sure that the seasoning is coated completely with your crab. The crawfish will have its own flavor of spice, but make sure that the crab meat is completely coated in your seasoning. Smells good, doesn't it?
It smells excellent. So are the peppers already tender, or is it just kind of up to still cooking? Or
they're definitely tender now. Mm-hmm. And like I said, if you wanted a little bit of extra crunch to your crab cake, go ahead and just throw the peppers in and just start throwing in your blackening seasoning and everything. Some people like a little crunch to their crab cakes, and sometimes you want them a little bit softer. Mm-hmm. And like I said earlier, this is on about medium-high heat.
Throw that over some rice and we're good, right?
Exactly. This is a very good mixture. Okay, so once this is simmered down a little bit, we're going to turn down the heat to simmer. You can turn it completely off because we're going to add it into the mixing bowl, which it doesn't really specify in the recipe. It just says to cool a little bit. So I put it in the mixing bowl, kind of figured that out the hard way at first. So we're going to add that into the mixing bowl. Put it back on the burner. The good thing about cooking with gas is that you can really control your heat. So now we have it in our mixing bowl. Add the panko. And then it says to lightly beat your egg. Of course, when you mix it together, you're lightly beating your egg. So we're just gonna fold in your panko and your egg. So as you're mixing it, it's gonna cool down a little bit so you can actually form your cakes. If your mixture is a little bit wet, you can always add more panko crumbs. The recipe calls for a cup, but if it's a little bit wet, you see that the cakes aren't gonna stick, just add more panko. Now egg is like the glue for cooking. So now that it's sticking together, roll up those sleeves, and now you're ready to make your cakes. So depending on how you like your cakes made, it calls for 3. You can always, 3 is like a little bit big, but depending on your crowd, you can make them smaller. So I always like to start off, because I'm full Italian, so you can start off with a meatball and kind of flatten them out and make them into a disc, just like that. And flatten them out and make them into a disc. Just like so.
Excellent.
Then you can put them back onto your skillet.
Now, do you want that on simmer, or do you want a little higher? Or?
Well, right now, since you're trying to control your heat and make your disc, you can put them on simmer.
Okay.
My chef in culinary school always taught me, if you're not really paying attention to your pot, always start your gas off on simmer. It's where you're not paying attention to it, keep it on simmer, it's not really cooking. Then whenever you're ready to watch it again, crank up the heat. And the tighter you make your crab cakes, the more they're gonna stick together. So don't be afraid to put your muscle into it.
Look like hamburgers.
Right? Now, panko crumbs compared to breadcrumbs are a little bit more crunchier. So if you ever forget to go to the grocery store and forget your panko crumbs, your breadcrumbs are going to be tasting more like a hamburger than a panko crumb. All right. So now that I'm paying attention, I'm going to crank up the heat a little bit more. All right, now we got the heat turned up just a little bit more. We're about to flip these puppies over. You really just want to keep them about 2 to 3 minutes on each side, depending how big your crab cake is. So you can just hold it on one side and just flip it over. And really, whenever you're about to flip it over, just make sure you're pressing it down just a little bit. Because you really want that inside to be cooked all the way through. You don't want it hard on the outside corners and then mushy in the inside. Now that the heat is up, just give them about 2 to 3 minutes on one side, and then just make sure you secure, and then we're gonna go ahead and flip them over and just pat them down on one side, because you wanna make sure that they're well cooked in the middle. You don't want to leave them super mushy in the middle. So just almost like a Krabby Patty. All right. There we go. 2 to 3 minutes on each side. Flatten them down.
So we're 2.5 minutes away from plating these things.
Exactly. And they're smelling really good too. All right, now these are ready. So, go ahead and pick your favorite plate in the house. And these are ready. Now, if you have like a house specialty remoulade sauce, go ahead and serve that up, or however you want to do it.
They look fantastic, Marie, and this recipe was found in the Fiesta Seafood Cookbook, A Taste of Pensacola. That's a cookbook with 25 years of history from the Fiesta Seafood Grill at the Pensacola Seafood Festival. That's where local chefs have all put their time and energy in preparing foods for everybody. And they put the recipes in this book, and you can buy it for $15. All the proceeds go to the Escambia Utility Assistance Program to help the elderly pay their utility bills. Give us a call, 850-436-5050. Pick yours today, and you can be making crawfish and crab cakes very soon.
This has been Coastal Cooking Quick Bites, brought to you by Pensacola Energy.
That's all we have for this episode of City Roundup. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you at the same place, same time, next week.
This has been City Roundup with Saenger Theatre. City Roundup is the City of Pensacola's one-stop shop for everything having to do with Pensacola. Join us again each Friday at 8 a.m. for more of City Roundup.